I am here at ShowMe Genetics in Stratford, Missouri to get my semen tank filled before heading back to the farm. And while we're here, we're going to hop on a tour with the Missouri Junior Cattlemen's Association and learn about everything else that takes place here. So Stephen, you have spent your entire career in agriculture education, and as a beef producer, and now into small business. Take me through how you started ShowMe.
So about a year ago, in July, we heard that this facility that's been in the Ozarks since the mid-'80s was for sale, and here in our hometown, and we jumped on the opportunity. So we started ShowMe Genetics and officially opened doors at ShowMe Genetics in October of 2019. And it's been exciting to start an agribusiness. Every day is an adrenaline day, learning how to run the business, how to work with the employees, helping customers, and then also the ins and outs of caring for the bulls and producing semen and getting that shipped around the country.
So I know your main goal is to help producers plan for the future of their herd genetically. Let's go through the day in the life of one of those bulls coming in to either be collected or semen tested.
Sure. So first of all, we ask for our customers to call ahead and then schedule things.
It's always a good thing.
And as we go through that process of coordinating when bulls will arrive and what days we collect on, how long the bull will stay here, we try to deal with the customer and just be very defined about those things. If the expectation is for the bull to come and stay here for a while, he has to go through some health testing to make sure that he meets the health requirements to stay in the barns that we have, for us to be a facility that's able to ship around the country. And as that bull enters the facility, he has to have some pre-entry testing, then about 6 weeks of follow-up testing before he can move to what we call our residence herd. And the bulls that are in the residence herd, the semen from them can be shipped around the world. And so we try to maintain those high levels of biosecurity every day, and then the testing helps us confirm that we've done those biosecurity steps.
Well, when it comes to the collection of the semen, take us through that process and the ways that you kind of remodeled the facilities to keep the safety of your team, but also the safety and docility and keeping all those things important for the animal.
Yeah, absolutely. We think about safety around here all the time. It becomes second nature, but we still talk about it. Employee safety is really important. Bull safety is very important. We've remodeled some facilities. We're constantly just changing things to make them a little more functional, a little safer, so that when we do, like on Mondays and Thursdays, are our big collections days. We also collect on Tuesdays right now for people bringing in day-in bulls. What that looks like is we get the bulls up in the morning, give them some grain to get going. We start about 5:45, and we're collecting the first collection on bulls around 6:20. So we try to get our collections done by about noon, and then once we collect the semen, we evaluate under a microscope. We're looking for motility, we're looking for morphology, and then we're going to be looking at how many straws of semen we can make from that collection. Then that goes into the process of slowly cooling that semen to the right
And that
level.
temperature is so important from the moment it leaves the animal, that second, to getting it through the testing into the lab, and then slowly but surely making it into these tanks here.
Yeah, very controlled process. We're regulating temperature the whole time. We want to be gradually going from animal temperature to refrigerated temperature and then to freezing temperature. And so that process takes about 4 hours from the time we collect a bull until the time it's frozen and ready to be stored. And then after it's frozen and stored, the next day, we evaluate what we did. We pull a couple straws, we thaw it as if we were going to be breeding a cow, put it under a microscope and evaluate the semen then.
And how it went through that process.
Yes, if it survived that process well.
So you talk about the grading or the quality of the semen. What are you looking for?
We're looking for motility, progressive motility, the cells moving forward progressively.
So going forward is the direction they should be going, not circling
not
around,
doing circles.
going backwards.
If we see some circles, we know that those sperm cells will not get to the end goal. We also look at any abnormalities, and because animals are animals, there's bound to be some abnormalities within every collection. So we're looking at a threshold of what's acceptable and what's not, and we have a very high threshold for quality here. Our lab staff's very rigorous, and those are standards that we put in place to make sure that the product we produce gets cows bred.
What education have you gone through to make sure you got the state-of-the-art equipment and that you're training your employees?
Sure, yeah, our employee staff that we inherited, a lot of them, several of them have been, well, the lab staff alone has been working and looking under the microscope for 6 years. We've got one employee here that's been here 35 years collecting bulls. So, you know, we inherited,
they know what they're doing.
Yeah, we inherited a lot of that knowledge base. You know, throughout my career as an ag educator, animal reproduction was always something I focused on. And then as a beef producer, you know, I learned how to AI, I learned how to set my cattle up to be bred artificially. And so knowing all those things really helped us once we got here. And then as a customer of this facility for the past 10 years before we bought it, I was always kind of one that was a little nosy and wanted to ask more questions.
How do you do that?
Yeah, tell me why.
So we talk about getting the semen frozen. Let's talk about storage.
Sure.
You know, and then beyond just collecting it and analyzing it, you've got how many straws of semen in these liquid nitrogen tanks?
And so these liquid nitrogen tanks keep the semen at negative at 320 Fahrenheit. As long as we maintain a level of liquid nitrogen in there, they'll stay frozen. And that allows forever. Yeah, and so as long as we maintain that, and we do that bi-weekly, individual producers have their own liquid nitrogen tanks that they store their own semen
I brought
in.
mine today to get filled up.
Yeah, and so we fill up those for customers. And I guess maybe the interesting thing about that is this semen can then be shipped anywhere, can be used anytime. And so we're shipping semen in and out, especially in the busy breeding seasons. You know, starting here in October will be a busy time for us to ship all the way through December. And in the spring, from March through June is a busy time.
Now I know that beef and dairy cattle are what you guys are specializing in now. Does the future look to be other maybe small ruminants?
You bet, yeah. So small ruminants I think is a big part of our future as we are a customer-focused facility, and we've had several customers ask, you know, hey, can we get our buck or our goat buck frozen, or can we get our sheep ram frozen? And so we froze a few bucks, and we're starting to recruit some folks to get their rams frozen and to have that opportunity. And again, I think one niche that we can fill there is exceptional quality within that industry.
So if you walk through the barns, you got lots of different breeds of beef cattle and dairy cattle, but they're not all just from Southwest Missouri. Tell me about your customer base when it comes to this selection.
Yeah, you know, we have bulls coming from across the Midwest. We have different clients. Some of our clients have multiple bulls here. Some of our clients might bring one bull in every year, you know, and so, but we've had, you know, clients come from as far south as Texas. We've got bulls here from Montana. And there are other bull studs, you know, along the way, so we're fortunate that they've chosen this to be their home.
As a former agriculture educator, you're still educating youth. What's it mean to have the group like the Missouri Junior Cattlemen's in today? And, you know, some of those unique questions that their minds are always running and asking.
We believe that a tour like we had today not only helps these students understand this phase of the beef business, but also helps them understand, first of all, the beef business is a people business. The goal of our business is to help create a lot of winners in the beef business. Whether that's the consumer that's going to be eating the final product, we want them to have a delicious and nutritious product. We can do that by improving genetics. We can also help the producers, the cow-calf producers that we see, you know, our neighbors, help them improve their cow herd by using better genetics. And so the idea here with using artificial insemination is that you can use a bull that maybe you couldn't afford on your own ranch.
Right.
You can also get your cows to calve within a defined calving period, and then those calves will be more marketable and more uniform when it's time to sell them. So we're just one small piece of that, but having this tour group come in helps connect those dots for those students.
Because those students are coming from so many different backgrounds, all within the beef industry.
Yes, and different ages, different experiences. You know, some of the students we had today, their families do AI a lot. Some of them are purebred breeders. Some of them have never been around artificial insemination. And so we want to bridge that gap with those young people to help them understand it better.